Hi. So where is my camera? There's my camera. Um, at this point I feel like I should start every one of my videos with a disclaimer that this is going to be something strange, something different, something I haven't done before. And this is one of those, obviously. Sorry, I will be rambling a lot. So what I have today is that I'm like in the middle of an anxious episode, and it prevents me from like properly working on the project that I am currently trying to work on. And I just wanted to kickstart my day with this little recording. I have no idea how it will go, but what I had in mind is that I'm going to make like a little soft spoken-ish, ASMR-ish sketching session, like a live, not live, recorded real-time sketching session. And I'm going to just start a little side project that I wanted to make for a long time, and it is going to be like I don't know, maybe implemented in a video, or it will be a video on its own. I have no idea. I just wanted to sit down, start recording, and start working on a little project. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move this away first. Yes. So these three texts, I finished this yesterday. The three, names of the main characters of the Harry Potter franchise, written out with these, little pictures that serve as letters. And I want to do something similar. And I want to make my name kind of like this. And I'm showing you why I say that. So I have this what is it called, signature. Also I should put a filter on it to blur it out a little bit. Something like that. So here's the thing, I've been using this signature since like 2019. Yes, 2019. I made it back then, and my handwriting is like so bad, like this thing, that let's just leave it at that. I don't even hand sign my pictures. I just put this thing over them every time, and all I do is that every year I update the date under my name, and I want to be using it in the future as well. But I want to create channel text, brand text for myself, so to speak, and I want to make these letters not one by one, but as a whole, like this format that everything is connected to each other. I want these to be turned into a little picture, similar to the one I just showed you, these Harry Potter ones. But not really like referencing anything. I just want to throw all sorts of things on these letters, and I want it to like look nice, and I'm going to create what is it called, a channel intro and like a channel title with these. So what I'm going to do is I already set up the recording, basic built-in Krita recording. Maybe I want to keep the quality at 100% for this. What did I want? Oh, and let's blur it a little bit more. For now it only needs a little background that is easier to work with, and I want to okay, my recording software just said that the encoding is overloaded, for a moment, but it was because of the blurring effect, so we are good to go. Also, I hope that my voice is audible. And I just want to start sketching, and oh, it's an autosave, I have to save it properly. I'm just going to start sketching and we will see how it all goes. Let me pause it for a second. Okay, so what we don't need is we don't need this thing. And start recording. And I'm going to turn this recording into like a time-lapse thing, and it's going to be my channel intro if I manage to do it properly. And the thing is that I've been thinking about making this text, but I have no idea how I'm going to implement these pictures together, and I just want to think about them right now, like figure out what I want to do with these right now. So one thing is that I have this pen, the digital drawing pen. Is it what it's called? I'm not sure. I want this long streak to be that. So I'll just, now it's just sketching, it's not going to be permanent. Maybe make it a little wider, something like this. And towards the end this thing gets wider, so it's going to be something like this. Maybe not so thin, but it's going to work out. And here's the edge, not the edge, is it called an edge? The pointy part of the pen. There's the changeable tip. And of course I want to connect all these letters together. And what I had in mind for this one, this is like the only thing that I came up with so far, is that it's going to be this vine thing. I'm not even sure it's called a vine, you know, this plant that is like curving around stuff, and it's going to be curving around this pen. It's coming out here like that, and I don't know, maybe it will be all of it, and it's going to curve once here. That's going to be my A, and it's going to have these spike things like a rose. You know what this plant is called. I'm forgetting how to English in the moment, so I'm not sure about many things. And one thing is that I want to keep it like centered around art itself, and also in a fantasy setting. Like I want these to be some sort of fantasy elements, and you know, it's going to be the main theme of the picture. Like I mainly do fantasy illustrations, most of them being Harry Potter fan arts, and I want the whole thing to be fantasy looking, but in the same time not really referencing anything. Like I don't want the, I don't know, one of these to be a snitch from Harry Potter or something. I want to keep them like, you know, not so specific, that is not referencing one franchise, but it's actually my own thing, and it's just fantasy elements thrown at each other. Okay, so this is going to be curving like that, and I want to keep it like readable, You know, there are these black metal albums, if I remember correctly. I don't really listen to any of that thing, but I know that there's this little joke that they are never readable. Like, you look at the cover of one of those albums and you're just staring at it like, what am I even looking at? And I don't want to go into that direction. Like, oh boy, this is no one on earth is going to be able to read this, right? Oh boy. Okay. We can work with that. We can also, it's like not permanent, it's just a sketch, so I'll be able to change it around in the future, so no need to panic about it. Okay. We have to figure out how we can like connect these elements to one another. I'm pretty sure that the S should be an important thing, like that is the start of the whole picture, like that's going to be the first thing that someone is going to be trying to read. And one thing that I was thinking about so far, other than these, is I should turn one of these curves into a bridge, like this really wonky looking bridge that you would never step your foot on, like this. There was that bridge from Temple of Doom, and it's like, not exclusively in that. There was something like that in the Monty Python and the Holy Grail or something. These really worn down bridges that were just created once and somewhat forgotten, and you just wonder how on earth they are still in place. And if somebody just tries to walk on them, it's like going to collapse like 9 out of 10 times in the stories. Or maybe I'm thinking this thing should be like a mountain road. Like, this would be a road that takes you up a mountain, right? So this thing should be like a rendered mountain. No, I see that. This could be like this fantasy kind of bridge. Like, there would be some sort of holding pillar and like these things in the sides, like here. And this would be like an entrance to somewhere. Or maybe, no, I know it. It's going to be like a stone bridge that is already like collapsing, like something from the Mines of Moria. It really looks like the, what is it called, the Golden Gate. I don't want to go there, so we will figure it out. And this could be like the main pillar of the bridge, like this giant pillar, and these would be like little small pillars. And I feel like it's just going to go way too much into completely unreadable, so maybe it's not going to stay. But I should do something with this T. Well, for now, I'm just going to... Everyone is going to be thinking about the wrong thing. I'm going to turn this into this tentacle, like this ancient Lovecraftian tentacle thingy. This will be the extension of its body. Then I should maybe even remove this pillar, and like these are going to be the two pillars, like here, and this is going to be the tentacle. Tentacle, what a strange word. Well, I see that T shape, but only because I did it. What I'm thinking about is there could be some sort of color coding, that everything that is like not important, like these parts, would be grayed out and like washed out or something, and the parts that should be red, the things that are actually parts of the letters, should be the ones that are really vibrant and colorful and like high contrast and sharp. And there goes the tentacle. One thing that I just remembered, that if you look up the Taiwanese, is it called Taiwanese? I'm not sure, the Harry Potter book covers from Taiwan. I don't remember who was the artist, but you just look it up and you will see that every single cover is like a giant like collage of elements in one picture, and the different parts morph into some things, some other things. Like in the very first cover, in the cover for the Philosopher's Stone, you have the train going in the bottom half of the image, and it has a smoke trail going off from it, and eventually it like curves around the picture and becomes Dumbledore's beard. Like if you go and see the picture from the top, you will see Dumbledore, and he's going to have this he's going to have this giant beard, and eventually that is the same mesh that the smoke of the train is, like it turns into something else. And I just want to something like this. Like this is a tentacle right now, but I want to morph it into something else. And I'm pretty sure that these pillars are going to be something that you would think that they are important while they are not, kind of thing. Maybe this whole washed out and grayish element is going to work out on the pictures. Sorry, I just checked the time, but we will see how it goes. Right now I'm just thinking like loud, like literally loud. Okay, so I'm going to like make notes. So bridge, so I'm going to have a bridge somewhere. Maybe like one of these things could be bridges. Like something rather dark fantasy, high fantasy-ish thing. Okay, let's just keep throwing in stuff. So I want this to be some sort of socket for a crystal. Like this is going to be a crystal, like this Sims crystal. It's not going to be green before you ask. Oh, those are not green all the time. I don't know, it's just going to be something. It could be the eye of an octopus that has this arm or this tentacle, right? Like this thing. Yes, that's it. Maybe, oh, that's just like too much of one element, right? I'm not sure, like this could be another tentacle like this. Okay, I'm just going to keep it like that for the time being, and maybe I'm going to modify the whole thing later, and this will be like a broken pillar. Like there are these things and there's something broken here because the alien octopus thing has already knocked it over. Something like that. And we will see. Okay, the crystal thing. Okay, then I want this to be the crystal. It's going to be this elongated diamond shape, and this is going to be like a socket, like maybe there would be like little gemstones around it, and you can like, you know, there are these fantasy games where you have something like a strange key and you have to like insert this crystal into this socket to open some treasure chest or something, and maybe this is one of those. Or maybe, no, I have a better idea. So this is going to be a little road. Maybe it won't be that bad. Sorry, maybe it won't be that good. And this is going to be a portal, like something of a shape like this, or maybe just an archway. We will see how it goes. No, you know why? Because this could be the extension of the plant, like this, and it's going to go into that portal, and it will come out in the other end, like in a completely different way. Like it's going to be something completely different. There will be still like these gemstones here. Okay, and I'm replacing the crystal for the third time, but it's going to stay that, so sorry. Okay, how could I put in that crystal to not look like always something else? Maybe I know. This could be like a magic staff, and this is the handle somehow. Yes, this curved magic staff. Gandalf had something similar, right? Like it had like a not giant, it had a quick turn in the end, like it looked something like this. Do I remember it correctly? I don't know. So it will be like wooden, and there will be a crystal in it. And maybe this is going to be one of those transitions that it will have this, you know, the same thing as this thing, that there's this beam of magic coming out from the wand, and here it's going to be a beam of magic coming out from this crystal, maybe like looping around this magic staff, and it's going to eventually become the road that is leading to this bridge that the, what is it called, the octopus is attacking. So this will be like a, I don't know how to like make that happen. I have to blow my nose, so I'm pausing for a bit. Okay, this thing, like this thing, could be a blade of this sword, and there would be the rest of the blade, and there would be a little hint here that it's broken, like it's broken, but it's obscured by the pen, or maybe What we could do instead is move this blade to the front, like it's going this really closely in the back. This is overlapping, like this would be an overlap, this would be an overlap, this would be an overlap with this. Maybe that part could go like smaller as it's getting further. I'll figure that out later. But here we are going to have the blade and it's like broken in the middle. Like you will see that this is the two parts of the single blade and it's going to be broken in the middle. Okay, then how can we solve this little tail of the Y letter? Let's okay, let's not like waste too much time on that. I want to figure out what this thing should be. Like this curvy thing, I immediately think of a snake, or like a snakish dragon thing, but that's like so overused, isn't it? Well, the tentacle monster is also overused. That's maybe a little too much Lovecrafty and not so fantasy-like. It's not going to be readable to any extent, right? We'll have to deal with that. Okay, so here's the thing. There's this plant that goes into the portal, and through the portal it should become something else. What should it become? Like, should it change a topic, like it goes from fantasy into something else, maybe into sci-fi thing, or maybe I wonder what this could be similar to, but I accidentally created this shape. It really reminds me of a bone, like it could be a finger that is, you know, made out of these bones. Once I made a letter E entirely out of finger bones, and maybe I can replicate it. I don't have it like laying around, and I will check how it exactly looks, but I'm going to make that. Like, maybe this thing could be turned into one of those, and maybe this is like a high fantasy kind of thing, this viney thing that, like, I don't know, gives me these Disney fantasy vibes or something, and then it could go into a dark fantasy kind of place where all of it starts with like the bonified finger, or not the bonified finger, it's the, you know, the bones from a finger of a giant that has been slain or something, and it would be like lying there like a giant monument, and maybe people wouldn't even know anymore what this thing belonged to. It really looks like that this is part of the portal, so let's change that to like this a little bit. that. Obviously I have to wait until I start doing with the colors to figure out how it will look. So, dark fantasy elements with these things. What could those be? Like this could go on to become a snake, or maybe I see it. He's like a similar entrance to some cave, like this thing, but there's this basilisk looking snake just slithering out of that entrance. Or maybe this could be a mirror. I don't know why, just this fancy looking mirror, and the snake is coming out from the mirror. Obviously, don't ask me how I'm like pulling out these ideas. I'm just trying to go with what my brain comes up with. And it might be obviously a really a really big disaster in the end. How does the head of a snake look like? Like, he's an eye and something like that. And maybe the snake could have some sort of pattern, like this is the like stomach part of the snake that is a different color or something. Yes, that will do. And the thing that I'm thinking about for this, maybe, I'm not sure if I'll be able to create something that looks even close to that, but it could be like the blade of the Grim Reaper, like this, and it would be the handle. Like, that might look really strange. It looks like a toucan bird, right? Okay, if I like make sense out of this blade and like make it not so strange looking, then it could work. I'm obviously going to look up some reference pictures for everything. I want to turn this into a believable blade. I'm not even sure what it resembles in the moment. How does this thing even look like? Like, does it have this thing? Like, I'm sure that it's not attached to the very end, right? Maybe there would be this overlapping part where the blade is coming out from this. Maybe this could be a really old looking tool, that it's just a piece of wood and the blade attached to it. Something along those lines. Like that. Okay. This is I have no idea how I'm feeling about this. It's like turning out in a way that I'm just putting in things that I think would go with the aesthetic, but at the same time I can like feel it falling apart. And like the thing that I'm the least happy about is the octopus. Like, I don't know, maybe the obvious thing that the internet and the whole Japan did to octopuses just influences my way of thinking, but either I'm thinking about those things or I'm thinking about Lovecraftian stuff. And maybe it could be an element Like maybe it could be that this picture has a Lovecraftian element. But I'm not sure if I want to like implement that. Also, this tentacle is like really broken because it's just following a really straight line. Something like that, maybe. Maybe. Something like that, okay. Okay. Okay, I want to do the bridge. Like, I want it to feature some sort of bridge. And maybe this slope or that slope. Either of those could feature a bridge, but when I think of a bridge, it's always like higher than most stuff, so this should be the bridge. Like, there would be these pillars in the sides, and you know, these ropes are hanging here, and there will be the steps between them. That looks like an earthworm, but you know what I want to go with this. Like this really suspicious looking bridge that you would never even touch. Like you would rather, I don't know, drop a rope around the around the, I don't know what it's called, you know, when there's a giant canyon, not canyon, you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to pronounce them, I just want to. And I wanted this to be implemented into something along this adventuring theme. Like maybe this could be some sort of I was thinking about that this part could be like an outside world and it would be like bright, and this is an entrance to a cave. I'm just so overusing this cave aspect in this. What? I'm not even using the cave aspect. What am I talking about? Okay, what is a thing that looks like that? What are things that have an S shape, or rather this question mark shape? Maybe like a broken archway. There would be like, I don't know, some sort of runes on the side. It would be like built up from different stones and they could be glowing, and something like that. And there would be a door here. Like it looks like a door to something, but it's like a door into the archway, but not through the archway, but into like the wall of the archway, or the arch of the archway. Arch. Sorry for the inconvenience. Also, I'm wondering if I'm speaking with the constant, level of, if I'm speaking in the constant volume. Also, I'm sure that there must be people who are really annoyed by the way I speak my accent and by word finding effort. Like I'm always stopping to find words or I'm just describing something because I don't know the exact words for those. But you know, this is something I have to expect, that some people are just not going to enjoy that, and it's okay. Okay, what should this thing be? I would say that it could somehow like follow this road aesthetic. Like this would be a road. Or this could be a beam of light. Like if it was like an X-ray into the dungeon entrance, and the light is coming from this direction, is going through here, and it's like illuminating a staircase. So it's going to be a staircase, like this is going to be the ceiling, and here we are going to have the steps, and it will like turn like that and like continue into like this path that is like disappearing, and there could be like a little torch there. I'm not sure how small that detail is going to be. It might be a really small, and maybe this could look like a blade of a giant that was like dropped from somewhere in it. When you're descending on these stairs, you're not even going to see what this thing is, but someone from an outside standpoint will see that it's a giant sword. Also there will be these cobblestone tiles. Okay, I'm going to use the white because I won't remember what this thing was meant to be. So I'm going to have these torches. I don't know. That might be the ceiling. Something like that. I don't know. We will find out. And all we have left is I want to turn this, I said this, into something, and I want to remove the octopus. I just don't feel that this octopus should be here. Or maybe if not the octopus, I just think that this tentacle is like enough. Like there's a little hint that there's this, you know, Edric creature in here. Well, that can still be sold as a tea, right? I'll just lower this, and I want this thing to be removed. Either this. Oops. You know what? I'm going to save it. Like put it there. Also, we can scrub out this thing. And I want to create something else with that. I'm really going with this dungeon aesthetic, right? Maybe I'm going to remove this thing, and that this is going to be a tower that has been like fallen over. Like, remember when there was the Mines of Moria scene in Lord of the Rings? I haven't seen that in like 5 years or something. There were these broken structures there. Maybe this could be a tower that was fallen over, like this underground tower, like in a, you know, these underground civilizations tower, and it's fallen over and it's resting against a cave wall, and if somebody like wanted to climb it, to find like something there, like maybe if there would be some sort of treasure in the top, they could like knock it over and it would collapse or something like that. So it like already feels more interesting than an octopus, but I don't want to waste the octopus thing. There will be a tentacle here. Okay. And I want to keep the broken pillar. So this thing, you know what, I'm just going to put it back. Let's just put this back here. Okay. And let's think about something for this. What I immediately thought about this shape is an eye. But I don't want it to be an eye of an octopus. It could be the eye of a dragon. Like this would be the eye socket of the dragon. I just literally replicated that. And maybe this could be some way the head of the dragon. Like we would see some teeth. Or maybe this could be a dragon skull. I have to look up like lizard skulls or something. I have no idea how I could do a dragon skull. Okay, then this could be still a tentacle, like all of it. And that's either going to be a dragon skull. You know what, this tentacle is going to have a reddish nature to it. And when you look at the skull, and when you think about it for a second that it could be like a live thing, not a dead dragon, you could like think that it's the tongue of the dragon, and then you would observe it closer and you would recognize that it's a tentacle. Also, this thing should be like standing straight, like that, maybe. Yes. Okay. I have no idea what I'm going to do with that. But it's going to be like those. Well, then it like diverges from this sketch. Maybe like move it closer. Something like that. You know, there were the. Everyone is going to think that I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan because I've been referencing it for so many times. But there were those pillars made by the dwarves that had all sorts of like details on them. Like they didn't just make supporting what is it called, pillars. They also made a pattern on them to make them look nicer. And it would be like one of those, and it's like broken because the tentacle that belongs to the creature that might have killed the dragon even is like knocking it over when it wakes up from an adventurer who ventures into that place. Okay, what should this part be? Like I'm thinking about some sort of river, right? That there could be a river that is flowing in this direction. And it would like explain why that bridge is there. Maybe not why. Maybe there could be that this tower was built on the edge of the river. then this tower could be standing straight almost, and maybe only the top half should be the broken one, so it's like completely fine like this. And there could be like a little bridge here, maybe that's a little too much, but it would like strengthen the idea that this is a river. So there would be an entrance like that. It would go like this. You would see a little continuation, and this would be the river. I don't know how to make a river, like waves. Come on. Then I just want to make this part a little longer. Like that. Okay, I'm sure that no dragon would have such a giant eye, so this would be the more appropriate size. Maybe it would have these nostrils, some sort of like extra eye socket, archway, I have no idea what they are called, like eyebrow line on a dragon kind of thing. Let's keep it that for now. And it like resembles the thing that I made originally, but it's like if somebody looked at it for the very first time, like what would they think? Like maybe they would recognize that this is an SY, maybe that I don't know, RUS. No way that anyone is going to read this. Maybe if I straighten this part a little bit, it would be better. Not distort, transform. Ah boy. Maybe we could like make a color coding that the similar letters are going to have similar colors, and this thing and that thing could be like the same color. Like maybe what color should this be? Even like anything other than the like silvery color, like this would be that color, and this would be that color, and this color, and you know the snake is going to be this color, and then you would like see that the different characters end in one way, or not end in one way, that the different characters have like different characters have distinct colors to them, and those could be like almost either unique to those or like repeated like much later. Like the plant is going to be green, of course, but it's not going to be repeated for 2 letters, or maybe even you know 1, 2, 3 letters, and there would be the snake that returns to that color. But I wouldn't put it like, I don't know, blue, white, blue, because that's 2 blues too close to each other. We will see. Okay, we need this Z. Okay. What should that Z be? Like something that you could squish between some dangerous plant life and like a dimension portal. Like, but wait for a second, I have to pause. Sorry for the inconvenience. So the thing is that so in the meantime I was thinking about what it could be, this Z letter, and I came to the conclusion that it could be this great starway kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about, when there's this really fancy starway. It could end like there, and there's the railing and everything, so that, you know, it would be an underground thing, like this takes place in like a dungeon, and there would be like a vampire noble family or something living there, and they would have this giant staircase. I don't know how to like make sense out of that part. Maybe let's just keep the railing, and it will like make itself readable. So this is about it, how I came up with it for the time being, and I just want to really quickly, like I'll be recording for 56 minutes, I want to make a really quick color demo for all of it, and we will see how it goes. Okay, so let me just grab this tool, maybe that will be okay. And let's just make a really basic coloring, like this thing would be this bluish color, something like the, what is it called, crying obsidian. If I remember correctly, I've been it's been such a long time since I played Minecraft like seriously, and this would be the, not the stairs, what is it called, the bridge, and obviously it would be like reverse of this, so the planks would be this color, but just quickly let's see how it would like roughly go, and that part would be simple like stone color. Also this thing now looks like a tiger, so let's not do that. Let's color this thing like that, something like that, yes. And this color would continue with this starway, this little starway, and maybe this thing would connect to there, like you could like loop around this way. And you know, these torches are going to have a little glow to them, so it will be illuminated, and maybe something here. We have the color of the blade, something brighter like that, yes, that will be the blade. And we need like a washed out green for this. I still don't know what it's called. Is it a vine? Maybe this spiky stuff is not called a vine, it's called something else. I might be mistaken. So for now I'm just going to call it a vine. It's just a demo coloring, so I'm not even going to bother being accurate. I just want to show it in the video that how I imagine this whole thing, and maybe it will be like changed around quite a lot. And we have the pen. It could be like a little more bright than it is in real life, like it's almost like entirely black. But just to show the details of it, and not just, you know, drop in a giant black blob in the middle, I'm going to do it this way. The staff of the wizard, maybe it would be like something of a lighter, what is it called, lighter wood, be something like that. Seal V, oh boy. So I immediately broke my idea that the colors are going to show the different letters, but maybe it's like not that much of a deal. Silver, A, S. Okay, the S is going to have, you know what, this blade is going to have a reflection of it. Like it's going to like show that those things are together in a way, and it would reflect this vine a little bit. Maybe it could be worked out, like it already forms a V shape. Let's go with this brighter bluish color for the beam, and it will be like glowing, and you will see little runes in it, and it's going to be continued into this bridge, and it's going to get like much more gray, something like this. So that would be like this simple gray, and here comes the proper gray or something. The pillars that are holding it are gray, and maybe I just want to somehow like show that this curve is important, so it will have like maybe something, maybe like little torches along the edges or something, so it will be drawing attention that hey, I am here and I want to show you something, like I want to present myself as an S letter, and this thing is going to be of the same color because these things are grouped together. There will be like a darker spot there, but that can wait. Maybe this simple bridge, little bridge, I don't know. There are, okay, I didn't write a bottom part for the T, but in like most fonts there's a bottom for a T, right? I'm just trying to find a T. I see one there. Maybe it's a little crooked and everything, but I would say that it like works, and it might be changed later. Also, I'm thinking about making some parts really highlighted because it's like a really dark thing, but I see sort of a progression, like, you know, there would be this brighter spot that is the entrance, and you know, the torches are going to illuminate that part, and there would be the like glowing runes. Like I wanted to do something like this, like, you know, some runes are going to be glowing. It would be a brighter spot. Then comes the entrance, that is this black blob, like if it was a, if there was this burden in the middle of the entrance and you had to overcome it to get in there, and once you're there you will see all sorts of colorful like magic elements like this beam, and there will be the portal, and I feel like that the portal should be purple, which is my favorite color, and it like brings this whole another worthy feeling to the picture, that it's like an entry to something else. And maybe well, I don't want it to be the same color. Something like this color could be the portal, and there would be colorful gemstones in the wall. And I just realized that I've been talking like on my regular voice, and it wasn't like really soft speaking. Oh boy, that is going to be a burden. Maybe I'll like artificially lower the volume there, but oh boy, yeah, then I'll have to cut this video and render it out, and I don't really want to render out an hour-long video. So this is going to be silvery, a little more silver, like that, yes. And this is going to be silver. And there will be the handle of the, what is it called, the reap? Is it called a reap? I'm not sure if it's called a reap. It will be like mostly brown, like this wooden, or maybe it could be like a metallic thing, and it could be really dark, like something like this, maybe. And the snake is going to be like a little more blue, even more blue, almost this turquoise color, yes. And the stomach of the snake is going to be this brighter, not that bright, like I did the same color, like something like this. It looks a little bit like a snail, but it's going to be fine. And this stairway, I want this to be like this bright, this marble looking thing. That's a bit too blue, something like that. Or maybe it could be like dark, and but I don't want it to be that dark, because it's like a progression towards the magical thing, and it would be like a underground but bright, but there's no artificial lighting, so it's like a magical lighting thing. And there's that river, and that's going to be like mostly, you know, not blue, because it cannot reflect the sky. It would be this rather dark, even darker than that water surface. And well, that's not a bone color. That's definitely not a bone color, like something like this. That's like a bit step closer. Yes, that's nice. That's a bone color. And oops. And the school is going to be the same color, something like that. Then maybe a darker in the eye socket, something like this. And the tentacle is going to be reddish, something like this. That's too purple. That's too strong. That's too gray. Maybe that. So for the first glance you will think that it's a tongue, but you will see the little suckers on the tentacle, and you will like realize that oops, that's not a tongue, and this will be like made of the same material as this archway. What was this? Or maybe my phone is running out of battery. Okay, so if my camera picture just goes away in a few minutes, then you will know that it's because of that. yes, like this is like mostly how I will go. I have to say that it like turned out like a little step better than I imagined, and of course stuff is going to have like a lighter side like this, and there will be this, well, not that bright, obviously. Let's just turn this back on. It will be like something like this thing, you know, and the blade is going to be glowing a little, and this is going to be glowing a little, and this is going to be like properly glowing because it will be the brighter side of the text, and there would be a brighter spot. I said a brighter spot here, and this thing is going to have like a whole gradient on it everywhere, and like this tower is going to have a darker side, and there will be a darker spot in there, like this dark, even darker, this, and you know, it will just slowly turn into something. Maybe this thing is a little too gray in the moment. Maybe, well, if I implement like proper lightings, it won't be that strange looking, and it won't, I don't want it to look way too like fairy tale-ish with the, you know, really bright and saturated colors. I want to keep it in bay, and well, I would say that it turned into much more of a dungeon crawler's text or whatever. Like people might, you know, see this and like interpret it in a way that I'm like a Dungeons and Dragons person, which is like not that bad. Like everything I've done so far with Dungeons and Dragons is that I made a scene once for someone, but you know, it was a really great experience, and you know, it's like an essential fantasy thing. Also, this mirror should have like an inside, something like this, something darker, like I said darker, yes, okay. Something like that. And you know, I will be playing around with this. I have the recording, right? Just a second, yes. I have the recording. And yes, I will be using that. And of course I'm going to finish it properly. It was just like an episode 0. Maybe I won't have another episode. I will just use it as a final product in my videos. And yes, that's everything I wanted for now. I hope that you know, maybe this video was like a little relaxing. I was aiming for that. I will of course review all of it, and maybe if there are places where I was like speaking way too loud, those should be like toned down, and I don't know, I will review it and I will see. Why am I looking at the camera picture? I'm supposed to be looking there. So I will see what I can do with this footage. I want to upload it in, you know, a way or another, and yes, that's it. That's what I wanted for now, and I'm going now, and I'm going to work on a commission that I'm currently assigned to. So this is it for today, and thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you had at least comforting time with this little video. Okay, enough trash talking about myself. I just know that maybe somebody watched it and they enjoyed it, and thank you if you are that person. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.